So a brand that I have loved for many years is Nasomatto. I have so many Nasomatto fragrances, including Black Afghano, Duro, Pardon, Absinthe, Narcotic Venus, Blamage. The list goes on and on. Here we have a brand new fragrance released just this year in 2023. This is called Sadonazo. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this brand new release, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on the brand new Sadonazo by Nasomatto, brand new 2023 release, same perfumer, same house, I do want to start things off by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified whenever I do upload these daily videos to YouTube. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or if you took something of value from today's episode. It would really mean a lot to me. Now, this fragrance got a lot of mixed reactions initially because if you watch the trailer that is associated with it, some parts of it are quite lewd and lascivious, let's just put it like that, and salacious even. And here we have a fragrance that translates into something that I think a lot of people probably wouldn't expect as far as the aroma is concerned, right? So people had their own conjectures or speculations as to what this would smell like, but I purchased this from the official website. It actually arrived very, very quickly. Of course, Alessandro Gottieri, he works out of Amsterdam. That's where his atelier is located. So I get this in the mail in like 3 days. It was really impressive, the shipment. And I spray it on and I'm like, wow, is this going to be the next big thing by Nasomatto? You've seen how other fragrances, even Baraonda or Nudiflorum, they've taken the world by storm. You see how many clones and inspirations there are of Black Afghano and Baraonda and all of these other hugely popular, successful releases by Nasomatto. Is this going to be the next big hit? I'm looking forward to giving you my thoughts and breakdown of what I get from the smell. Let's take a quick look at the presentation. So right in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get something rather sweet, fruity, juicy, musky, and lactonic. Now, the first thing that I'm looking for when I spray a fragrance on, especially when it comes from a brand like Nasomatto, is I'm thinking to myself, okay, volatility kept in mind, what are going to be some of the more volatile ingredients? And of course, citrus comes to mind. Citrus, aromatics, herbs, so on and so forth. I'm not really getting any citrus from this, so it doesn't open very bright or zesty or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I'm getting this powdery sweetness from it. And I'm thinking to myself, what is it? And I'm convinced that there's some kind of a resin in here. Could be benzoin, could be tolu balsam, could be Peru balsam. One of those three is definitely in here. Could be a combination of them, I'm really not sure. I am getting this thick, resinous, balsamic, rich quality from it, which I think is really, really nice, right? Really warm and kind of gives it this density that I think a lot of people would really enjoy. But the other ingredient that is coming across loud and clear, you can't miss it, is this note of honey. And it's not this adulterated, watered down, neutered honey. It's not this, watered down with like corn syrup and whatever. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about a raw, unfiltered, unadulterated, visceral type of a honey ingredient. It smells very thick, very natural, freshly harvested. There is this organic quality about it that I truly love. It's not gimmicky, it's not a novelty type of a scent. It actually smells like pure honey. And I'm smelling it and I'm like, wow, well, this is really interesting because you don't come across this kind of a vibe in perfumes that often. Sure, there's fragrances like Back to Black by Kilian Paris, and there's other fragrances that try to pass off something that they call honey, but it's not really honey. It's like a honey accord with like tonka bean and whatever else, right? But you smell honey in this. There's a lot of honey. There's some rich, thick resins, like I said, maybe benzoin, because there is a medicinal quality about it. I'm getting some fruity component from it, and I mentioned the word lactonic before, and when I say lactonic, I usually think of fruits like fig or coconut. So I think there might be some ingredients in there that can also be used in the synthesis of a fig accord. If I looked at a note breakdown, say the brand decided to release one, and I saw a fig nectar in the note breakdown, I would have been convinced. I would have said, yeah, I'm getting something like that in here. Like I said, thick, honey, balsamic, juicy, fruity, musky, and a little lactonic. Now, as far as the musk that's in the base, like I said, there is this carnal, even visceral component to the fragrance. I'm convinced that that's coming from the honey though. I don't think it's coming from the musk. The musk is actually rather smooth. There are no rough edges. There's nothing animalic per se about this fragrance, and I've smelled a lot of stanky ouds, believe me. So I know when I'm smelling a really animalic, rough and tumble type of a fragrance, this isn't it. As a matter of fact, this has a very warm and agreeable personality, and it's really interesting, right? That viscosity that is coming from the honey is like otherworldly. You have to try this one. It's really, really interesting. And there's some juicy tartness in there. I can't put my finger on it. And of course, the brand of Nasomatto doesn't like to reveal or disclose the notes because they want you to sort of come to your own terms and make your own interpretation of what you think you're getting from the smell. But I think I did a darn good job, right? I am getting the honey, some benzoin or styrax, something thick and balsamic with a medicinal edge to it, musky, lactonic, fig, coconut, that type of a DNA. You gotta try this one. It's a really interesting fragrance, and I can already see in the future people kind of putting their own spin on this DNA because it's unique. I own Fantomas as well. I purchased every single Nasomatto fragrance that I have in my collection, and I even own a fragrance by Orto Parisi, which is the sister brand. I own Bergamask. It's a beautiful fragrance, but in any case, try this one out for yourself. See if you can get yourself a small vial of it or a sample or whatever, if there is somebody splitting it or decanting it. But I'm really hoping that you have the opportunity to try it for yourself. Don't trust me, right? Let your own nose do the judging, right? You should arrive at your own verdict. If it works on your skin, great. If not, that's fine too. But thank you for watching. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, this is a unique fragrance. Even when I'm comparing it to other honey-based fragrances, I can't, right? I feel like there's a lot of honey-based fragrances that either get too powdery or they're too gimmicky or they're too heavy on the vanillic side of things. Here is something that is very raw, unfiltered, unadulterated. Like I said, it's a really wonderful fragrance. In terms of the longevity, 10 plus hours, extrait de parfum concentration, this stuff is nuclear. In terms of the projection was great for the first hour and a half. It radiated beyond an arm's length. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 6, 6.5, a skin scent right around hour 10 or 11. In terms of the versatility, great for the colder weather, perfectly unisex, great for a formal scenario, great for somebody who's a little bit more experienced, perhaps somebody who's a little bit older, more experienced dealing with niche fragrances. And so I think it would satisfy that demographic rather well. And like I said, perfectly unisex, right? So it is fairly versatile. I just wouldn't wear it in the high heat of summer. I think it could possibly choke you out, especially given how thick it is on the honey. And in terms of the presentation, well, I'm commenting on the presentation that I currently own. There is another presentation with a separate cap. If you're curious to see what it looks like, it is a bit phallic, may I say. Go ahead and check it out online. But in any case, here we have my review of Sadonazo by Nasomatto. If you own or have tried this fragrance, let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Also, let me know, what is your favorite Nasomatto fragrance if you have experience with the brand? I love so many. Absinthe, Hindu Grass, Narcotic Venus. I've named a bunch of them before. I purchased so many from the brand. I think the only one that I don't own is like China White and like Nudiflorum. But I have everything else because I really do love this brand. Thanks again for watching. Please make sure to support the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell icon and give this video a thumbs up. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.